And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you to a map of the continental U.S. with the territories down here as tabs, and then Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left. Quick check of the weather map on this Tuesday afternoon of greatest note, record warmth here in the Midwest. Chicago setting record high temperatures today in the lower 80s. We've had 80-degree temperatures up into southern Wisconsin, southwest lower Michigan. Unusually warm. Another warm one coming up for Wednesday, and even the potential for severe weather eastern Kansas here come Wednesday afternoon and evening. On the backside, we have colder air, freeze warnings, as well as winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings for portions of the central Rockies, especially around the state of Wyoming. Here in Alaska, we're dealing with our own winter weather. This last system coming through, well forecast and advertised. We see it coming for quite a while. Winter weather advisories remain in effect for the central eastern Alaska range down across the Copper River Basin, including areas like McCarthy. And there's still a blizzard warning in effect for Thompson Pass into early Wednesday morning. Anchorage received its first significant snowfall. Many areas in south central, especially the Anchorage Bowl, up into the lower portions of the Mat-Su Valley and the western Kenai Peninsula. Anchorage area, snowfall amounts range from 4 to 5 inches on the East Hills to as much as 9 to 11.5 inches on the west side of town. Ted Stevens Airport, 11.5 inches measured at the Weather Service office on the south side of the airport. Well, we're going to continue to see a parade of North Pacific lows as we go into the month of November, just one after the other, either coming up into the Bering or coming up from the North Pacific into the Gulf. So this is going to keep an occasionally stormy pattern going in here over the next couple of weeks. Anchorage area, anywhere from 5 to 12 inches of snow falling, our first big snowfall. Areas further north like Eagle River, only 2-3 inches of snow from the system. Soldotna saw upwards of a foot. Nikiski, Soldotna, Sterling on over to Kenai Keys, generally 11 to 13.5 inches reported there. 36 degrees the mid-afternoon temperatures with the snow letting up. Chitina reporting steady snow, 37 degrees. Copper River Basin now getting that moderate to heavy snow. Some of the heaviest snow will fall around the areas west of Glen Allen through Eureka to about Sheep Mountain. Locally, a foot of snow could fall in those areas. Thompson Pass, a blizzard warning. We have moderate to heavy snow there this afternoon with winds gusting 45 to 55 miles an hour, creating those blizzard conditions. So here we have the blizzard warning there for Thompson Pass. That will continue into early Wednesday morning. This area of the Alaska Range, central eastern Alaska Range, and the Copper River Basin, including McCarthy, all under a winter weather advisory. Locally, generally 6 to 12 inches of snow. There could be a few areas get a bit more than that. High wind warnings here on when you get northwest winds on the downward side of the Alaska Peninsula, Shelikof Strait, and west side there, Kamishak Bay into Kodiak Island, as well as here Sitka down into Prince of Wales Island. These high wind advisories will be expiring this Tuesday evening, 7-8 p.m. So winds will be gradually coming down in those areas, and then we have a winter weather advisory, but that's not in effect until later on Wednesday into late Thursday night as a result of some of this moisture lifting further north and bringing some gusty winds and light snow there along areas of the Dalton Highway up there through Gobbler's Knob. But here's a kind of a closer look. So we have the high wind warnings here along the Gulf Coast and back here toward the Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island. Those are gonna expire 7-8 o'clock tonight, with winds coming down gradually here as we go through this evening and overnight. But again, the most notable winter weather is going to be through areas of the eastern half of the Alaska Range, and especially Copper River Basin down through Valdez, Thompson Pass, McCarthy. So on the satellite imagery, we have a pretty strong low out here over the northwestern quadrant of the Gulf. It's going to head southeastward as we go through tonight and tomorrow. It's not going to come inland into the panhandle. And then look out to the west. Look at the curl in the clouds here. We got another strong low in the western Bering with a front, a large occluded front arcing ahead of it. And that front will be pushing into areas of the west coast, especially the southwestern coast, as we get into Wednesday afternoon and night. Looking at the weather map here as of the Tuesday afternoon, 976 low here in the Gulf. That's heading southeastward. We have high pressure up in northern areas of state from the Canadian Arctic coast back up into the Arctic Ocean, and then a 956 low. This is a strong low. Look at the broad circulation around it. It's another one of these big lows. This is like the third one within the past couple of weeks. And that low is going to be heading eastward with the occluded front by late tonight into early Wednesday morning. This is like 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. We find the low entering the lower portion of the Gulf, heading southeastward as we go through the day by Wednesday afternoon. Definitely quieter conditions here across south central and improving conditions gradually later in the day here across areas of the eastern portion of the mainland along the Alcan border. Still holding on, though, to some light snow. The occluded front comes in with some areas of snow along areas of the southwest up toward St. Lawrence Island, the Bering Strait, with rain further south, some gusty winds. And that system by Thursday, the front will be working its way across the southwest interior, lower Alaska range with a secondary low forming in the western Gulf. This is not going to become one of those really big, strong secondary lows, but it's going to bring some additional snowfall to areas of the Kenai Peninsula, Alaska range, and Anchorage Bowl could pick up another 1 to 3 inches of snow Thursday afternoon into Thursday night with that system. And if that's not enough, we got another low coming out of the North Pacific. This one's going to take a track probably just south of the eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula and then head up into the Gulf for the weekend. So that'll be the next weather maker here as we get toward the end of the week and early weekend. Looking for temperatures tonight, mild above 40 in the panhandle, most areas. Cold, though, up here where the snow has occurred. Any partly cloudy skies is going to allow for temperatures to easily drop into the lower 20s on the other side of the Alaska range where there's some clearing, single digits above zero there at McGrath. And then on Wednesday afternoon, highs in Anchorage, Talkeetna, a little above freezing, 27 Glen Allen. Coastal areas, upper 30s, Seward, Homer near 40. 40s, even up near 50, Klawak, Craig. And then for low temperatures Thursday morning, back down. Mid-30s or so, just above freezing, Juneau. Upper 30s to near 40, southern outer panhandle. 9 above there in Glen Allen, 18 Talkeetna, 12 above over at McGrath. Again, any partial clearing could really get temperatures a bit colder than that. And highs again Thursday afternoon should just get above freezing. Western Kenai, Anchorage Bowl on up toward Talkeetna, below freezing Copper River Basin. Temperatures along the outer southern and western panhandle, generally mid to upper 40s for highs, near 40 here back up toward Skagway and around Juneau, whereas 46 there, Kodiak Island. Coldest temperatures in the north, especially along and south of the Brooks Range. Number of readings getting down below zero. Still clouds and some lighter snow occurring in this region. Back out toward the west, lows near 20 from Point Hope down along the coastal areas of the Seward Peninsula. And then daytime highs only in the single digits, above zero here along the Brooks Range, north of the Yukon River. Teens elsewhere for highs, including Fairbanks, down along the Alcan border. Temperatures a little warmer, 30-ish around Nome and a little above freezing there at Savunga. And then for Thursday morning, widespread temperatures getting below zero in the interior. So definitely, as I said, we're just gradually sliding into this winter pattern. And then as we go into Thursday afternoon, coldest readings again along the Brooks Range and between there and the Yukon River. Single digits above zero. Teens again for highs, east central interior. And then back a little further west, we could see some readings, 25 perhaps, there around Point Hope, Cape Lisburne. Certainly in the 20s for highs, Seward Peninsula, down around Nome, 30 there at Imanik, 35 over at Savunga. And then as we get out in the southwest interior, coldest readings up on the west side of the Alaska Range. Single digits there at McGrath as you go up the river toward Galena and Ruby. Down along coastal areas, Nunavik Island near 30 for lows, and then in the 40s as you trail out along the Aleutians. Highs Wednesday afternoon, could see an isolated 50 perhaps at Unalaska or perhaps False Pass, Cold Bay. Otherwise, highs cool off as you go up the Kuskokwim and Yukon rivers, with highs only in the 20s as you get up toward Anvik and certainly McGrath. And then for Thursday morning lows, again, teens as you creep up the Yukon River, 20s, Bethel, mid-upper 20s. Again, that front is going to be pushing in with some light snow. So temperatures are actually going to rise along the southwest coast, Bristol Bay, Kuskokwim Bay. Temperatures should stop near or just above freezing on Thursday morning. And then temperatures Thursday afternoon with that front pushing slowly northeastward. We find readings getting back up above freezing, 35 or so there at Bethel, and around 40 along the coast of Kuskokwim Bay and Bristol Bay to, say, King Salmon, and then in the 40s extending out along the Alaska Peninsula through the Aleutian Chain. So here's a bit of a trend change coming up here as we get into the first full week of November. We're looking at the potential for above normal temperatures. Now, above normal temperatures this time of year are tricky because depending on where you're located, where the cold air holds, still could be precipitation in the form of snow. It just means with temperatures averaging above normal, warmer air can allow for more water vapor to exist, so precipitation could potentially be heavier in a milder pattern, especially if the lows continue to come up out of the North Pacific. So temperatures will average above normal, probably given more precipitation, more cloud cover. And here's the catch. Look at this, above normal precipitation expected, especially south side of the Alaska Range, including areas around Cook Inlet, the Kenai Peninsula, Prince William Sound, all through the Copper River Basin, into the northern third of the Panhandle. These are areas that have the best chance of seeing above normal precipitation November 4th through the 8th, which just emphasize again, we're going to have this parade of lows, progressive storm pattern, so stay tuned. Could have some more rain and snow depending on your location and the exact setup. Some more stormy weather here as we get through the first couple of weeks of November.